After Chu Chaoshang kicks him, Ai crashes into a wall and goes flying out of the building. A few moments later, he coughs while struggling to remain standing, using the rock he crashed into for support. Ai claims he has no idea how he offended Chu Chaoshang and requests an explanation so he can at least die in peace. Frustrated, Chu Chaoshang demands to know why he refuses to listen. He already declared that he wants to become his disciple, so he wonders whether Ai is deaf. Ai is stunned to hear the same thing again. He offers to treat Chu Chaoshang if he is suffering from some kind of head ailment, but Chu Chaoshang immediately grows furious. Not only is Ai refusing to accept him as a disciple, but he also dares to insult him by claiming he has a mental illness. Ai suddenly urges him to wait. Buddhist teachings emphasize putting down the butcher's knife and becoming a Buddha on the spot, so if Chu Chaoshang is truly sincere, he is willing to accept him as his disciple. Chu Chaoshang scoffs and decides to spare Ai's life for the time being. He orders him to complete the necessary procedures and arrange somewhere for him to stay, since he plans to remain with him for a while. Still hesitant, Ai questions why he is so determined to become his disciple. Chu Chaoshang reveals that Chen Pingan gave him a test, requiring him to make Ai his master. Otherwise, he would never spare a glance at a weakling like him. From this alone, Ai can tell that Chen Pingan must be an extraordinary master. After all, he is powerful enough to make Chu Chaoshang willingly accept such a test. Ai then invites him to the main hall so he can officially ordain him. Chu Chaoshang wonders whether he can simply stay for a while without going through ordination, but Ai rejects the idea. Since this is supposedly a test, he needs to make a sacrifice to prove his sincerity. Chu Chaoshang admits that the reasoning makes sense and permits him to proceed with the ordination. Ai praises his wisdom, but Chu Chaoshang impatiently orders him to hurry. Ai obediently agrees, while secretly celebrating that he has finally found a way to control Chu Chaoshang. He has not forgotten that beating, and sooner or later, Chu Chaoshang will pay for it. 1 month later, Chen Pingan peacefully lounges in his courtyard when his communication talisman suddenly begins vibrating. The moment he answers, Mo Huang reports that the bridge connecting the Earth realm and the Universe realm has been repaired. Chen Pingan immediately recognizes his voice. Mo Huang explains that they are preparing to take Chen Yi, the little brother, back to the Universe realm, then checks whether Chen Pingan has any other instructions. Chen Pingan praises him for doing a good job. Since the Zushin Pavilion is a major power with extensive sources of information, Chen Pingan considers using this opportunity to learn more about Chu Chaoshang. Mo Huang might possess information that could help with the task. He brings up Chu Chaoshang of the Ru Shenmen from the demon domain, causing Mo Huang to fall silent for a moment. Mo Huang suddenly erupts, declaring that he naturally knows Chu Chaoshang. He wants nothing more than to peel off his skin and eat his flesh, because he is the former young master who fled with half of the Jushin Pavilion's resources. Chu Chaoshang was once his most trusted disciple, yet he still committed such a betrayal. Chen Pingan considers how satisfying it might be for Mo Huang to witness Chu Chaoshang being forced to perform good deeds. That is assuming he truly followed the instructions and became Ai's disciple. He informs Mo Huang that once he returns to the Universe realm, he will take him to see something amusing. The promise immediately catches Mo Huang's interest. After ending the conversation, Chen Pingan decides that this is the perfect time to check Chu Chaoshang's progress. If he has been obedient, they can bring Mo Huang along to enjoy the show. Meanwhile, in the Buddhist domain, Chu Chaoshang is repairing the buildings destroyed during his fight with Ai. Ai repeatedly complains that the structure is tilted and that another brick has been placed crooked. Unable to contain his anger, Chu Chaoshang crushes the brick in his hand. Ai immediately protests that he has destroyed yet another brick and points out how many have already been broken. Chu Chaoshang throws the crushed brick onto the ground and calls him an old bald donkey, demanding to know whether he is deliberately playing with him. Ai rebukes him for suspecting his own master. He arranged for Chu Chaoshang to personally repair the temple because he noticed how restless he was, not because he hoped to gain anything from it. Chu Chaoshang warns Ai not to take him for a fool and insists that they wait for Chen Pingan. Just then, Mo Huang from Jushin Pavilion has arrived with a young man, claiming they came to inquire about Chu Chaoshang's current condition. The moment Chu Chaoshang hears Mo Huang's name, he assumes the old man has come to mock him. It seems he was far too forgiving when he left Jushin Pavilion. Otherwise, Mo Huang would never have the nerve to visit him just for a laugh. Aili urges Chu Kaoshang not to act hastily and questions the attendant about the young man accompanying Mo Huang, particularly whether there is anything distinctive about his appearance. The attendant describes the young man as handsome, but the truly unusual detail is that Mo Huang appears to be following his lead. Chu Chaoshang finds this strange since Mo Huang is not an easy person to control. Aili then connects the situation to Chen Pingan. Based on Chu Chaoshang's claims about his overwhelming strength, Chen Pingan may already know about his past with Mo Huang and could be the handsome young man accompanying him. Chu Chaoshang immediately declares that this is bad. In his current state, he has no idea how he can face Chen Pingan. Aili questions whether he understands why Chen Pingan specifically wants him as a disciple. When Chu Kaoshang presses him for an explanation, Aili lays out a simple possibility. Chen Pingan sees that Chu Kaoshang is unstable and brings him there to cultivate, meaning the real thing being tested is his attitude. Unable to follow Aili's cryptic reasoning, Chu Kaoshang demands to know what he should do. Aili believes Chen Pingan wants to see him calm down. Appearing before him completely clean and tidy may go against that intention and could even backfire. Chu Chaoshang doubts that Chen Pingan could truly be so considerate, but Aili calmly declares that monks do not lie. He calls Chu Chaoshang closer and prepares to explain the proper approach. Chu Chaoshang warns him not to attempt anything strange, or he will tear down the entire temple. Aili then whispers his plan into Chu Kaoshang's ear, explaining exactly how he should appear before Chen Pingan. Meanwhile, Mo Huang and Chen Pingan wait inside Aili's temple. Mo Huang recalls that Chen Pingan brought him there to witness a joke and remains curious about what it could be. Chen Pingan simply encourages him to drink some tea since he will discover the answer soon enough, and Mo Huang readily agrees. As he waits, Mo Huang wonders whether this is the opportunity Chen Pingan promised him. Before long, Aili arrives and greets them with Amitabha, apologizing for arriving late. However, the moment Mo Huang sees Chu Chaoshang's new appearance, shock overwhelms him. He instantly spits his tea directly onto Chu Chaoshang's face. Chu Chaoshang erupts in anger and curses Mo Huang as a rascal, but Aili immediately orders him to show respect. Mo Huang is still his former teacher, so he must greet him properly. Chu Chaoshang reluctantly obeys. Joining his hands, he formally greets Mo Huang after their long separation and praises him for remaining as impressive as ever. Mo Huang can barely believe that the person before him is truly the same little brat, Chu Kaoshang. Unable to contain himself, he bursts into laughter. Seeing Chu Kaoshang like this is even more satisfying than killing him. Chu Kaoshang silently endures the humiliation, though he considers returning later to dismember Mo Huang. Now completely satisfied, Mo Huang thanks Chen Pingan for arranging this encounter. With his mind finally clear, he senses that he is about to achieve a breakthrough and cannot remain there much longer. Chen Pingan allows him to leave without issue, and Mo Huang quickly departs from Aili's temple. Once he is gone, Chen Pingan observes that Chu Kaoshang appears to have survived the test and inquires about his condition. Chu Kaoshang releases a deep breath and steadies himself. Thanks to Chen Pingan's arrangement, he already feels much more stable and believes he will be able to pass his test before long. Chen Pingan is confused by the sudden gratitude and wonders whether Chu Kaoshang is imagining something again. Still, he concludes that Chu Kaoshang has good comprehension and encourages him to continue. Chu Kaoshang respectfully thanks him for the guidance. Chen Pingan then checks the system notification, only to discover that the task remains incomplete. This means Chu Chaoshang still has not abandoned his misdeeds. It seems they need to find a way to make the monk work even harder. Chen Pingan credits Chu Chaoshang's current condition to Aili, but Aili modestly denies doing anything significant and claims that he merely took one small action. Aili questions why Chen Pingan wants Chu Kaoshang as his disciple and requests enlightenment on the matter. Chen Pingan explains that this is a rare opportunity for both Aili and Chu Kaoshang. If Chu Kaoshang genuinely embraces the path of goodness one day, both of them could make significant progress. Aili wonders what further progress remains when he has already reached the peak of a godly sage. He then considers whether this could be an opportunity to enter the upper realm. Chen Pingan expresses his faith in his abilities and warns him not to disappoint him. Aili agrees, and Chen Pingan encourages him to work hard before Aili bids him farewell. Afterward, Aili informs his dear disciple that his schedule may become very busy from this point onward. Chu Chaoshang immediately questions what he is planning. A few moments later, Chen Pingan enters the immortal realm. He remembers the message from the palace and recalls that the peaceful sect should be nearby after relocating there. Since he has some free time that day after enjoying a few jokes, he decides to check the peaceful sect's current state. Suddenly, a scream reaches him. Elsewhere, Zhang Aiyu is completely out of breath. Her fellow disciple warns that if she becomes a ghost, she should not blame him. She only has herself to blame for meddling too much and provoking Elder Chen. As a disciple of the immortal peaceful sect, Zhang Aiyu condemns him for committing misdeeds in the sect's name. She questions whether he fears what their sect master, Murong, will do after returning from seclusion. The moment the disciple hears their sect master's name, his expression becomes unhinged. He dismisses Murong as nothing more than casual words used to send a mortal like Zhang Aiyu away from the lower realms. The one who truly controls the peaceful sect is Elder Chen. The disciple steps forward and lunges at Zhang Aiyu, ordering her to stop talking and prepare to die. Zhang Aiyu is horrified as his sword closes in on her. However, before the blade can reach her, Chen Pingan knocks it out of the disciple's hand. The sword falls to the ground far away from him. Chen Pingan confronts the disciple over what he revealed and questions whether the peaceful sect's sect master has truly been sidelined. The disciple demands to know who dares to eavesdrop, but Chen Pingan walks toward him without answering. He simply orders the disciple to respond. Instead of giving him an answer, the disciple threatens Chen Pingan and orders him to prepare to die. Chen Pingan remarks that he is overestimating himself. He then slaps the disciple across the face and sends him flying. The disciple crashes into a tree trunk, but the force of the slap is so overwhelming that he pierces through multiple trees. A few moments later, the system notifies Chen Pingan that he has killed a cultivator in the immortal realm. The loot is exchanged for 50,000 points. Since the disciple can no longer speak, Chen Pingan turns to Zhang Aiyu. As another disciple of the peaceful sect, she should be able to explain the situation. Zhang Aiyu agrees. Chen Pingan then materializes an elixir bottle from his storage ring. As a reward, he gives her the bottle of healing elixir. Zhang Aiyu wonders what kind of elixir it contains before recognizing it as a top-grade reviving immortal elixir, a medicine capable of resurrecting the dead. She immediately thanks Chen Pingan for the gift, but he dismisses the need for excessive politeness. Zhang Aiyu begins her explanation from the time the peaceful sect relocated to the immortal realm when she was fortunate enough to join them. Time passes, and she finally finishes her story. Afterward, Zhang Aiyu and Chen Pingan head toward the peaceful sect. She warns that the sect is not only backed by immortal emperors, but Elder Chen has also spread his influence far and wide. Despite that, Chen Pingan has now come knocking at their door. Chen Pingan assures her that there is no need to worry. He then steps forward and enters the peaceful sect. Meanwhile, Elder Chen gathers his disciples and orders them to listen carefully. He commands them to quickly capture the evildoer who killed their fellow disciple. At his order, the disciples prepare to attack and respond in unison. The disciples immediately charge at Chen Pingan, prompting Zhang Aiyu to question what they should do. Chen Pingan challenges the peaceful sect's methods, wondering whether they always arrest people without any evidence. Elder Chen coldly declares that Chen Pingan himself is the only evidence he needs. As long as he wants someone arrested, no one can stop him. Chen Pingan questions whether he is not afraid of the person backing him, but Elder Chen only scoffs before mocking his ignorance. Even if Chen Pingan has a powerful supporter, no one can surpass the immortal emperor behind the peaceful sect. In his eyes, he has never encountered anyone so foolish. The disciples burst into laughter, and one of them condemns Chen Pingan for daring to provoke Elder Chen. Chen Pingan then wonders what they will do if he happens to know their sect master. The disciples exchange puzzled looks before laughing even harder. They mock him for being unable to construct a believable lie since their sect master never leaves the immortal realm. Elder Chen presses him about the sect master, then dismisses everything as a fabrication. Even if Chen Pingan truly knows Murong Yunhai, it will make no difference. He is not the one in charge, and the peaceful sect belongs to Elder Chen. At that moment, Murong Sui appears and remarks that he is quite formidable. Elder Chen is instantly startled. He questions why she is there when she should be breaking through to the godly sage peak. She instead demands to know what he is doing, and reveals that if she had not ended her seclusion early, she would never have witnessed his true face. Elder Chen immediately drops to his knees and begs for another chance. However, she questions why he is apologizing to her when she has no right to forgive him. Walking past Elder Chen, she admits that her own incompetence allowed the sect to deteriorate into its current state. Elder Chen cannot understand why she is apologizing, while Chen Pingan questions why she is doing this when he never intended to blame her. He reminds her that she is already grown and wonders why she is crying so much. She apologizes for forcing him to witness such a disgraceful situation. Chen Pingan declares that the matter cannot end there. The palace elders must be summoned because the peaceful sect needs an entirely new set of rules. She agrees and releases a magic array into the sky. It rapidly expands before illuminating the area above them. Murong and Zhang Xiaofeng arrive almost immediately. They respectfully greet Chen Pingan, apologizing for failing to welcome him sooner and begging for his forgiveness. Chen Pingan reveals that he has witnessed the sect's disciples killing one another while the elders suppress others through force. Because of this, he is deeply dissatisfied with the peaceful sect's current condition. Both men are horrified. Murong admits that they have remained in seclusion for far too long. Their neglect allowed the peaceful sect to become this corrupt, so neither of them can escape responsibility. He then requests punishment for their failure. Murong Shui calls out to him, but Chen Pingan refuses to punish them. Since they are old acquaintances, he cannot bring himself to do it. Instead, he urges them to rise and requests that they reform the sect while properly restraining its disciples. They gratefully thank him. Murong then turns his attention toward Elder Chen. Although he has been in seclusion, he has repeatedly heard about Elder Chen's unorthodox conduct. Now that everything has been exposed, he challenges him to continue defending himself. Elder Chen freezes. He attempts to reason with them, but fear overwhelms him so completely that he can barely form a proper response. Murong concludes that Elder Chen has nothing left to defend himself with, so the sect rules must be enforced. He orders him to discard his cultivation and confine himself on Repentance Peak. Elder Chen immediately refuses and pleads for mercy, but Murong commands the others to drag him away. Desperate, he argues that although he has not contributed much to the sect, he has still suffered for it and begs them to spare him. Murong then announces a new rule. From that day onward, every peaceful sect disciple must attend one virtue lesson each month. Anyone who misses the lesson 3 times will be expelled from the sect. Everyone accepts the order. After settling the matter, Murong questions whether Chen Pingan is satisfied with the punishment. However, he responds that there is no need for such formality because it only makes them seem distant. Instead, he proposes that if both of them are free the next day, they can bring Murong Shui and the others to visit his home. He also plans to invite several friends so everyone can become acquainted. Both of them agree that the idea sounds good. Chen Pingan then opens a portal and explains that he will return home to prepare. He reminds them to make sure they attend, while Zhang Xiaofeng promises that they will arrive on time. Meanwhile, another portal appears at Chen Pingan's residence. Duan Xingxin's sister remarks that the fellow was extremely specific about this place. As she examines the surroundings, she notices the pond and the broom, then questions why all those annoying artifacts are gathered there. At that moment, Duan Xingxin walks out of her room and immediately recognizes Zhao Xuan. Zhao Xuan greets her sister, while Duan Xingxin questions how she managed to get there. She claims that she missed her deeply, prompting Duan Xingxin to wonder whether her brother-in-law arranged for her arrival. She complains that her sister always brings up that annoying man. She does not like him at all and considers her superficial, but Duan Xingxin reminds her that he is still her brother-in-law. Zhao Xuan counters that she would never have come to help him without his sincere request. Duan Xingxin urges her to explain the real reason for her visit, especially since 1 month earlier, he instructed her to gather information about Murong Shui. Before she can continue, Su Ling calls out to Duan Xingxin and announces that she is back. She then wonders whether they have a guest at home. Hearing that she is being introduced as Duan Xingxin's sister, while Xiao Xuan is merely treated as a guest, leaves Xiao Xuan horrified. She questions whether Duan Xingxin has another sister, but Duan Xingxin simply remarks that her jealous little sister is acting up again. Xiao Xuan complains that it is no wonder she has been acting so cold. It turns out that she already has another sister, while Xiao Xuan is nothing more than a guest. She even begged Chen Pingan for a long time just to be allowed to stay there for 1 month. Duan Xingxin immediately focuses on the fact that she begged her brother-in-law. Xiaoshuan quickly denies knowing anything about begging and insists that she never made such a statement, so Duan Xingxin must have misheard her. However, Duan Xingxin points out that her cultivation level has not made her deaf. Xiaoshuan clears her throat and declares that she should take a closer look at what the little girls are really doing. After all, she is clearly up to something. Su Ling explains that since she is Chen Pingan's sister, and Xiaoshuan is Duan Xingxin's sister, that also makes the two of them sisters. Xiaoshuan is caught off guard by her cuteness. She denies the claim, but admits that Su Ling is just as cute as she is. A few moments later, Chen Pingan returns to the mortal realm. He calls Duan Xingxin and informs her that he has invited several friends to their house the following day, so they need to make preparations. After learning that they already have a guest, he discovers that the visitor is her sister, Xiaoshuan, who plans to stay with them for a month. He questions where her sister came from, and she explains that her lineage is determined by the system. She normally cultivates with her parents in the sect, but this time she is only making a brief visit as part of a mission. Chen Pingan understands. Since his sister-in-law rarely visits, he intends to be a good host, though Xiaoshuan immediately shows her disgust. He then activates his storage ring and decides to prepare some exotic food to welcome her. A few moments later, the preparations are complete, and the table is filled with appetizing dishes. Chen Pingan encourages everyone to eat before checking whether the food suits Xiaoshuan's taste. She quickly lowers her bowl and remarks that ordinary meat is not very impressive, though she expected the annoying guy to come up with something noble. Troubled by her reaction, Duan Xingxin accepts the blame, since they cannot serve her unappetizing meat. She offers to prepare a bowl of noodles instead. Xiaoshuan immediately stops her, insisting that it is unnecessary because she can eat the food as it is. Duan Xingxin wonders whether she is simply being picky. Xiaoshuan counters that she clearly cannot tolerate hearing her speak badly about Chen Pingan, prompting Duan Xingxin to point out her stubborn personality. Meanwhile, Chen Pingan quietly observes their exchange and wonders whether this is what people call a tsundere. Evening arrives, and everyone finishes eating. Xiaoshuan admits that she is completely full, and Su Ling feels the same. Since it is already late, Duan Xingxin urges everyone to sleep. However, Xiaoshuan assures her that she can relax and leave the cleanup to her, especially after she already worked hard with Chen Pingan to prepare the ingredients. Duan Xingxin remarks that she has finally grown up and now knows how to care for her sister. Xiaoshuan naturally declares that she cares about her sister more than anyone else. After thanking her, Duan Xingxin announces that she and her husband should return to their room. Chen Pingan clears his throat and agrees before leaving with her. As they walk away, Xiaoshuan considers how an obedient little sister like herself will eventually make her sister abandon the annoying guy. Morning soon arrives. The door to Chen Pingan's chambers opens, and he steps out with Duan Xingxin. When he notices Xiaoshuan looking dejected, he questions what is wrong and whether she slept well. Xiaoshuan immediately confronts him over how he can bring that up after what he did. Chen Pingan questions Xiaoshuan about what happened, but she is furious. She demands to know why he did not think about last night, pointing out that even if her sister has a beautiful voice, he cannot let her scream for most of the night. He becomes flustered and stumbles over his words as she stomps her feet against the ground. He insists that he remembers setting up a soundproof barrier, while Duan Xingxin reassures him that Xiaoshuan is only a child and does not understand what happened. However, he counters that children mature early these days. His reputation is completely ruined, while Duan Xingxin suspects the soundproof barrier simply cannot block Xiaoshuan's abilities. She dismisses it as human nature, questions what difference it makes even if Xiaoshuan understands, and reminds him that guests are arriving that day. He cannot welcome them while wearing that expression. He agrees that she is right, and mentions that they should be arriving soon. When someone knocks on the door, he remarks that they must be there, then opens it and is surprised when he sees the guests. Wang Lao greets him and explains that they have come to visit. Chen Pingan questions what brought all of them there together. Wang Lao explains that after his brother-in-law's wedding, he stayed in touch with him. When they received his invitation, they worried that arriving separately might inconvenience him. So, they decided to come together. Chen Pingan thanks him for the consideration, and he brushes it off. Wang Lao then introduces Sun Yao, a close friend he brought along. Sun Yao is the second strongest person in the divine realm and once competed against Deng Guiqi for the position of God Emperor. After hearing about Chen Pingan's achievements, he wanted to meet him personally. Wang Lao hopes their arrival has not caused any inconvenience, and he assures him that it has not. Sun Yao questions whether he is truly the unparalleled expert Wang Lao mentioned, dismissing him as nothing more than a fame seeker and fraud. Wang Lao rebukes him for coming there to meet a true expert only to behave so arrogantly. Sun Yao counters that without making up an excuse, he would never have brought him there. Chen Pingan clearly lacks the presence of a master, which means he has been deceived. Wang Lao warns him not to make reckless accusations, questions whether he truly cannot see the truth, and orders him to apologize immediately. Sun Yao declares that since he remains so stubborn, he will reveal his true identity to him. Since he claims to be a powerful being from the upper realm, he should be able to explain how he can advance further. If he can provide the answer, Sun Yao will immediately apologize by kowtowing 9 times. Wu Dejin smiles in anticipation. Glaring at Chen Pingan, Sun Yao warns that if he cannot provide an answer, he will take his head as compensation. Chen Pingan is alarmed. The situation is becoming troublesome because although he should be capable of defeating Sun Yao, refusing to help would look bad and would not suit the behavior of a master. He declares that the problem is not difficult while planning to deceive Sun Yao first. If that fails, he can simply claim that he lacks talent. He explains that there is a reason he remains stuck. A mental block is preventing him from overcoming a certain obstacle. Sun Yao accuses him of trying to escape by using a convenient excuse. However, Wang Lao suddenly remembers something and confirms that his friend Sun Yao truly does have unresolved problems. Sun Yao questions how he could have unresolved issues without knowing about them. Wang Lao counters by reminding him about what happened 1,000 years ago when he came to drink with him, became drunk, and accidentally brought up something from his childhood. Sun Yao recalls that something like that did happen and presses him to repeat what he once mentioned. Wang Lao explains that 1,000 years ago, he revealed how his father taught him from a young age that a promise was more important than life. Yet that same father later abandoned him and his mother without a single word. Ever since then, he has continued searching for the reason. Sun Yao points out that those events happened tens of thousands of years ago. In theory, his parents should have reincarnated several times by now. He wonders whether he has truly remained obsessed with it all this time, before releasing a bitter laugh. He believed he had already forgotten those events. No wonder Deng Guiqi immediately noticed his mental block when they competed for the position of God Emperor back then. Wang Lao remarks that having a clue means there must be a solution. Sun Yao can only sigh, since solving it is far easier in theory than in reality. He then kneels before Chen Pingan and admits that he was arrogant enough to question him. Despite that impudence, he still received generous guidance. Deeply ashamed, he requests forgiveness. Chen Pingan finds him surprisingly persuasive. He dismisses the formalities since he is their guest, then privately notes that Wang Chenglin is truly skilled at smooth talking. Rather than remaining by the door, he invites everyone to sit together. Noticing Duan Xingxin preparing the table, he explains that he invited the guests and will handle everything himself, allowing her to rest. She wonders why it sounded like there was a disagreement earlier, but he assures her that nothing happened. The moment Sun Yao and Wang Lao meet Duan Xingxin's glare, both of them freeze. She declares that she will not interrupt their conversation, while Chen Pingan suggests that she return to sleep for a while. Sun Yao finds the experience terrifying. For a brief moment, it feels as though the heavens and earth themselves have abandoned him. Wang Lao suddenly calls out to him and wonders whether he finally understands why he urged him to apologize so quickly. Although Chen Pingan is kind, he was worried that his family might personally smack him instead. Sun Yao immediately expresses his gratitude. A few moments later, Chen Pingan invites them to take their seats. Before they can settle down, Deng Guiqi and the God Emperor call out to him. The God Emperor apologizes for arriving late, explaining that he sparred with Deng Guiqi to learn a few moves and requests Chen Pingan's forgiveness. Deng Guiqi remarks that several months have passed since their last meeting, while the other guest praises Chen Pingan for remaining as splendid as ever. Everyone welcomes the two God Emperors. Chen Pingan recognizes the handsome man as the one who was chatting and laughing with Duan Xingxin in the courtyard the other day. Only now does he discover that he is the God Emperor. Naturally, he blames the system for arranging everything. He then wonders whether Su Yi has been doing well under Deng Guiqi. Deng Guiqi assures him that there is no need for concern, since Su Yi has been progressing rapidly lately. Chen Pingan is relieved to hear it. Although the conditions in their home are limited, he invites them to sit as long as they do not mind. Deng Guiqi and the God Emperor respectfully thank him. A short while later, Chen Pingan reveals that he has a reason for inviting everyone over today. At that exact moment, the system announces that its update is complete and that a new trigger-based task has been added. After detecting that he has traveled through several divine realms, the system activates a new sect mission. He must establish one sect in 3 separate divine realms under his control. Chen Pingan is stunned that the system can even perform hot updates. Still, he decides to leave the mission to Deng Guiqi and the others later. Returning to the gathering, he reveals that he has an important task for them. A formidable enemy awaits him, so they must rapidly advance their cultivation and assist him in the coming battle. He then demands to know whether anyone has an objection. Everyone immediately wonders just how terrifying this enemy must be. Wang Lao can only conclude that even in their world, there truly is no such thing as a free lunch. Murongong wonders what he should do as Deng Guiqi sets down his cup and offers to do everything in his power to assist Chen Pingan, as long as Chen Pingan does not reject him. Everyone exchanges glances. The God Emperor declares that whenever Chen Pingan needs him, he is ready to give up his life. Murongong admits that his power is meager, but as long as he receives a command, he will follow it. Mo Huang also vows to repay Chen Pingan with his life for resolving his internal trouble. With no objections, everyone agrees to serve him. Chen Pingan approves their decision and begins assigning tasks. Using the name Pingan Sect could attract the attention of a powerful enemy, so remaining discreet is the better option. For the next arrangement, he needs sects established across 3 different divine realms. Their names should all be different, and he leaves that responsibility to them. Everyone confirms that they understand. His little brother, Chen Yi, is an important piece in his plans, so he entrusts Mo Huang with nurturing him well enough to help against the powerful enemy. Mo Huang readily agrees to impart his knowledge to him. Chen Pingan then warns Wu Dejin not to slack off while collecting immortal soulwood, and he immediately accepts the order. By evening, the meeting comes to an end. Before they leave, Chen Pingan instructs everyone to cultivate diligently after returning and never grow careless. They acknowledge his command, allowing him to finally breathe a sigh of relief. Impersonating the senior is far from easy, and he can only hope his orders prove useful. Even after all that discussion, he still does not know whether they will. At that moment, the system announces that Chu Chaoshang's task is complete, rewarding him with an advancement of 2 higher cultivation realms. Chen Pingan immediately reaches level 1 of the immortal element realm. The advancement is excellent news. His stronger realm enhances his divine sense, allowing him to control more of the power of heaven and earth. However, he wonders whether it is truly the power of heaven and earth. The system explains that the force consists of Tao patterns. Hearing such a grand name, Chen Pingan wonders whether this is another ability granted by the system and whether it can give him 2 more. Instead, the system activates a new mission. This time, the task requires him to roleplay in the chaotic realm. Chen Pingan wonders whether the chaotic realm stands above the divine realm and whether entering it could expose him to his enemies. The system reveals that the outer robe on his body comes from the chaotic realm. Although it lacks power, it can conceal his aura. Impressed, Chen Pingan praises it as another amazing product of the system. The robe immediately demands that he show some respect. It is not just any ordinary piece of clothing. Since everything is prepared, Chen Pingan decides to enter the chaotic realm and explore it. By evening, the chaotic realm is filled with activity. Chen Pingan teleports there, only to find that it does not look particularly impressive. The system suddenly unlocks the mission details. He must assume the role of Zhang Hatred Constant, the young master of the Zhang family, and later win the position of leader through a martial competition. Both of his parents are deceased, while the current family head is his grandfather. However, his grandfather has remained in seclusion and has spent little time with him. The original owner of the body died while exploring a secret realm, but news of his death remains unknown even now. Chen Pingan feels that the task does not seem too difficult. There are no corpses nearby and no plane crashes, so his luck appears to be good. Before he can relax, the second in command of the Sand Gang addresses him as Zhang and declares that this is the day of his death. Chen Pingan immediately wonders what he should do and whether his mission is already about to end. With no better option, he decides to use all his strength in a single move. If it fails, he will retreat immediately. Chen Pingan immediately uses one of his skills to block the incoming attack, But the overwhelming difference in power horrifies him. The gap between their attacks is like heaven and earth, so he urgently commands the system to send him back. Just as the two skills are about to collide, the system activates and transports him away. A massive explosion erupts at the exact moment he disappears. However, cracks suddenly spread across the second in command's attack. Chen Pingan's skill completely shatters it before continuing forward and striking him directly. He cries out in pain before his entire body explodes. Everyone on the street stares in shock, relieved that they survived. One of them celebrates that someone has saved the Zhang family, while another concludes that Zhang Deshuai must have finally emerged from seclusion. Since the attacker is the second in command of the Sangong, they become convinced that Zhang Deshuai has successfully broken through to the half-saint level. One of them immediately orders preparations for a grand feast, while another reminds everyone that Zhang Deshuai must also be invited to preside over the banquet. Meanwhile, Zhang Deshuai remains inside his residence, completely unaware of what has happened. He demands to know where his attendant heard that he had broken through to the half-saint level, wondering how everyone knows about a breakthrough that even he knows nothing about. The attendant explains that news has already spread about him defeating the second in command of the Sandgang with a single move after he attacked the Zhang family. Everyone naturally assumes that he has made a breakthrough, and the other families have already sent messages confirming that they will attend the celebration banquet. Zhang Deshuai wonders why the second in command of the Sandgang suddenly went mad and attacked the Zhang family. The attendant remarks that his breakthrough happened at the perfect time. Otherwise, the protective leader of the Sandgang would have certainly come to cause trouble for them. Zhang Deshuai knows that the leader of the Sandgang possesses half-saint cultivation. Because of the current rumor, he now has suspicions and fears. Without it, he would have already come to kill them, since the lie cannot be exposed. Zhang Deshuai orders the banquet to be organized as splendidly as possible. They cannot allow the other families to mock them, and the attendant obediently agrees. Even so, Zhang Deshuai continues wondering who truly saved the Zhang family and why that person refuses to reveal himself. Meanwhile, Chen Pingan returns to the mortal realm. He admits that the Chaos realm is truly dangerous and feels fortunate that he managed to escape so quickly. However, the mission still has not failed. This means the Zhang family may not have been annihilated after all, making him consider returning to check the situation. He quickly hesitates and abandons the idea. Going back now is too risky, because the enemies may still be nearby. Instead, he decides to wait before checking again and confirming that the mission remains active. At the same time, news of the incident reaches the Sandgang's base, where everyone has gathered. One of them admits that he never expected the old man Zhang Deshuai to actually make a breakthrough, costing them the second in command in the process. Hao Shadiao, the leader of the Sandgang, regrets that his old injuries prevent him from acting freely. Otherwise, he would personally make the old man repay the loss with his blood. He pushes the book aside and admits that without the Zhang family's secret treasure, his old injuries will continue hindering him, leaving him unable to risk making a breakthrough. With no other choice, he decides to pay the necessary price and seek help from his old friend. Meanwhile, the celebration banquet begins at the Zhang family residence, filling the estate with noise. Amid the commotion, no one notices a teleportation array appearing on the ground. A scorching aura begins leaking from the formation before a mysterious figure emerges. He laughs and declares that today marks the end of the entire Zhang family. Blood Butcher declares that this is the day the entire Zhang family meets its end. The banquet remains bright and peaceful. But the atmosphere changes when Chen Pingan suddenly steps out of a portal. Blood Butcher is startled by his unexpected appearance, while Chen Pingan calmly walks toward the banquet hall. He never expected to find the Zhang family still alive, much less see their houses completely intact. From the look of things, the Zhang family must have some formidable individuals protecting them. Before he can investigate further, Blood Butcher swings his fist at him from behind. Startled by the sudden attack, he plants his feet firmly against the ground and quickly jumps away. Confused about why someone is attacking him, he demands to know who he is. Blood Butcher immediately becomes furious, unable to believe he is the one being questioned. Anyone unfortunate enough to face Blood Butcher should consider himself lucky if he survives. Chen Pingan silently curses the man as a lunatic, but Blood Butcher gives him no time to respond and bombards him with attacks. Chen Pingan is not skilled at gathering information, so his only option is to attack, disrupt the opponent's rhythm, and use the opening to teleport away. He grabs Blood Butcher's arm, but Blood Butcher dismisses the attempt, confident that an attack like that will not even make him itch. The moment he believes it is over, Chen Pingan strikes him with his palm. Blood Butcher's body instantly explodes into pieces, scattering blood across the ground. Chen Pingan remarks that Blood Butcher's nickname sounds intimidating, but the man himself is surprisingly fragile. He begins wondering whether he has simply become too powerful. Before he can leave, Zhang Deshuai suddenly calls out and requests that he stay for a moment. Chen Pingan demands to know what he wants, prompting Zhang Deshuai to introduce himself as the master of the Zhang family. He explains that he only approached to express his gratitude for saving the Zhang family. Chen Pingan does not remember doing anything for them and questions whether he truly helped. Zhang Deshuai reveals that Blood Butcher is the top assassin in the region. Whenever he takes action, he never leaves anyone alive. Since he appeared near the Zhang family, he must have accepted a job from the Sand Gang. Without Chen Pingan's intervention, the Zhang family would have been in serious trouble. Chen Pingan remarks that Blood Butcher seemed extremely weak, but Zhang Deshuai clarifies that he only appeared weak from his perspective. After clearing his throat, Chen Pingan urges him to continue. Zhang Deshuai then brings up the palm seal used 2 days earlier and confirms that he was also the one responsible. This means he has already helped the Zhang family twice. Only then does Chen Pingan discover that the expert protecting the Zhang family was actually him. The difference in effectiveness is enormous, yet he somehow won both times. Zhang Deshuai nervously prepares to raise another matter. As a junior, he needs to borrow his achievements to deter several petty individuals. Now that he has personally appeared, Zhang Deshuai intends to make the situation clear to everyone. Chen Pingan allows him to use his reputation however he wants, since he could not care less about something so minor. He will need to switch identities for future missions anyway, so the matter does not bother him. Zhang Deshuai's face immediately lights up, and he repeatedly expresses his gratitude for such generosity. Meanwhile, Chen Pingan remembers that his current disguise is supposed to be the grandson of the Zhang family's head. To make future missions easier, he needs to find a way to strengthen that identity's reputation. Chen Pingan looks through his storage ring. Since every item inside appears to be a treasure, using one as a simple token feels far too extravagant. Eventually, he spots what seems to be an ordinary stone he picked up while digging. He had stored it inside the ring without paying much attention, so he decides it will do. He mentions having some connection with a junior from Zhang Deshuai's family named Zhang Henchang. He will return to the family in 3 days, and when that time comes, he must remember to give that treasure to him. After all, this could also become an opportunity for their Zhang family. Zhang Deshuai expresses his gratitude, wondering whether Zhang Henchang truly has some connection with him. If that is the case, the Zhang family's rise already looks promising. He then wonders what title he should use when informing Zhang Henchang later. Chen Pingan initially remarks that he does not deserve to know, but considering Zhang Henchang's face, he decides to reveal it anyway. His title is the Invincible Supreme. Zhang Deshuai freezes in shock and immediately looks toward the sky, expecting divine punishment to fall for impersonating the Supreme. However, another possibility quickly crosses his mind. He might truly be the Invincible Supreme himself. Zhang Deshuai immediately calls himself lowly, apologizes for addressing the Supreme so casually, and begs to be punished accordingly. Chen Pingan is surprised by such a powerful reaction and urges him to get up, explaining that he concealed his cultivation. At the same time, he privately considers the title he invented on the spot surprisingly effective. Zhang Deshuai insists that he would not dare. Chen Pingan then mentions that he happens to have something to attend to, allowing him to go about his business. Facing such a character is indeed intimidating. Zhang Deshuai never expected Zhang Henchang to possess such incredible luck. He pulls a box from his pocket. Inside rests the Zhang family's hereditary treasure. He throws it into his storage space, then places the rock Chen Pingan gave him inside. As long as this opportunity can be seized, no one knows how high the Zhang family might rise. Meanwhile, the Sand Gang base remains completely quiet. Hao Shidiao admits that he has failed once again. Even Blood Butcher unexpectedly died, leaving him to wonder whether this is simply his fate. However, he immediately rejects that possibility. No one can stop him. Since force has failed, they will have to rely on cunning instead. He summons a coffin, revealing Zhang Henchang's body inside. Hao Shidiao considers it fortunate that he still has his body after the soul search. Zhang Henchang's body is pale and covered in bruises. Hao Shadiao claims that he did not want to do this either. If he wants someone to blame, he should blame his grandfather. Even in death, he will not allow him to rest in peace. At that moment, Zhang Henchang's body opens its eyes. Hao Shadiao transfers his essence into the corpse. He stretches his neck and remarks that fortunately, not much time has passed since his death, so the body is not too stiff. Zhang Deshuai wonders why the brat still hasn't returned and whether some accident has happened. Right then, the attendant calls out that Zhang Henchang has returned from training. Hearing this, Zhang Deshuai is delighted. Hao Shadao enters the room disguised as Zhang Henchang, and Zhang Deshuai warmly welcomes his grandson back. He has been waiting for him, but Hao Shadao immediately senses something strange. According to his memories, the old man has never acted this enthusiastic toward him before. For a moment, he wonders if he has already exposed something. Zhang Deshuai remarks that he has been in seclusion for so long without seeing him, then urges him to call him grandfather several times. When he remains silent, the old man questions whether he is no longer willing to address him that way. Left with no choice, Hao Shadao reluctantly calls him grandfather. Zhang Deshuai happily praises his good grandson and urges him to repeat it. Hao Shadao calls him grandfather again, only for the old man to demand one more. Zhang Deshuai is overjoyed. Zhang Henchang has gained the Supreme's favor yet remains so filial, making it seem like the old man has truly received great fortune. Meanwhile, Hao Shadao is furious. Sooner or later, he plans to send the old man to meet his real grandson. At that moment, Zhang Deshuai remembers the important matter and calls him over, revealing that he has a treasure to give him. Hao Shadao becomes interested. Aside from the ancestral treasure, he cannot imagine what other valuable object a small family like the Zhang family could possess. Zhang Deshuai points toward the box and reveals that the treasure is inside. Based on Zhang Henchang's memories, Hao Shadao knows that the object stored in that box is the Zhang family's treasured possession. When Zhang Deshuai prepares to hand it over, he is almost left speechless by his luck. At the same time, Zhang Deshuai reflects on the treasure given by the Supreme. No matter how carefully he inspects it, the object appears to be nothing more than an ordinary stone. It seems the treasure only becomes useful after being placed in the hands of the right person. Hao Shadao can hardly believe his fortune. He has found exactly what he needs when he least expects it, proving that everything truly has its proper time. However, just before he can receive it, the attendant suddenly calls for Zhang Deshuai and announces that Zhang Henchang has finished his training. Zhang Deshuai immediately hides the box. He suddenly claims that the treasure may still be useful to him and proposes handing it over later. Inwardly, he finds the situation suspicious. Before confirming the other person's identity, he cannot casually give away such an important treasure. Hao Shadiao repeatedly assures him that everything is fine and that his important matters should come first. Internally, however, he is cursing nonstop. He only needed a little more time to obtain the treasure. A few moments later, the two of them step outside to meet Chen Pingan, who is also impersonating Zhang Henchang. After examining him, Zhang Deshuai concludes that he truly appears to be Zhang Henchang. Meanwhile, Hao Shadiao seethes over having his good fortune ruined. Regardless of the newcomer's purpose, even if he is somehow the real Zhang Henchang returning from the dead, he still intends to kill him. He steps into the courtyard, but the moment he and Chen Pingan see each other, both are startled. Chen Pingan immediately calls the system, demanding to know why another Zhang Henchang has appeared and whether it made a mistake with the task. The system explains that it only has one host, while Zhang Henchang is merely a corpse that has been refined into a puppet. Chen Pingan cannot believe Hao Shadao has the nerve to impersonate someone else's grandson. Since he is clearly not a good person, Chen Pingan decides to seize the initiative before being caught off guard and directly targeted. He demands to know who Hao Shadao is and accuses him of daring to impersonate him. Hao Shadao fires back that Chen Pingan is obviously the fake one and claims that he must have ulterior motives toward the Zhang family. At the same time, both of them accuse the other of being an imposter and urge Zhang Deshuai to act quickly and eliminate the fake. Chen Pingan is relieved that the system can adjust his voice. Without that ability, the moment he opened his mouth, his real identity would have been exposed. Hao Shadiao, on the other hand, is surprised by how convincing the other person's disguise is. Fortunately, he still possesses Zhang Henchang's body. Zhang Deshuai studies the two of them and remarks that they look almost completely identical. Hao Shadiao insists that Chen Pingan is the fake, while he immediately counters that Hao Shadiao is the imposter. Zhang Deshuai confirms that he understands. To expose the impostor, he plans to present several questions known only to him and Zhang Henchang, then challenges both of them to answer. Hao Shidiao confidently urges him to begin. After digging through all of his memories, he believes no question can possibly trouble him. Meanwhile, Chen Pingan calls the system requests help with the answers. However, the system refuses and instructs him to find a solution on his own. Noticing his hesitation, Hao Shidiao mocks Chen Pingan for already backing down. Chen Pingan immediately denies it and urges Zhang Deshuai to continue. The first question concerns an incident from when Zhang Henchang was 18. After skipping class and disappearing, the Zhang family searches the entire city before finally locating him. Zhang Deshuai demands to know where he was found. Hao Shidiao answers that a celestial being caught him at the brothel. When Zhang Deshuai turns to Chen Pingan for his response, he admits that he cannot remember clearly and suggests it may have been the same place. Hao Shidiao accuses him of copying the answer, but Zhang Deshuai moves directly to the second question. Zhang Henchang once mistook a man dressed as a woman for his first love and lost something after being deceived. He now has to identify what was taken. This time, Hao Shidiao insists that Chen Pingan answer first so everyone can hear what he has prepared. Chen Pingan vaguely responds that the item was not very valuable. Hao Shidiao immediately mocks his lack of preparation before revealing that Zhang Henchang lost a precious divine sword. He also considers Zhang Henchang incredibly foolish for falling into such a trap. Zhang Deshuai then presents the third question and demands the nickname of Zhang Henchang's father. Chen Pingan has no idea what the answer could be. A random guess could easily expose him, so he admits that he does not know. Hao Shidiao confidently reveals that the nickname was Mi Shit because his father was extremely good at pooping when he was young. Zhang Deshuai confirms that every answer is correct. He calls Hao Shidiao forward to receive the treasure, and Hao Shidiao agrees. He hands the box over, but at the same moment he places a magic array on his hands and activates it. Hao Shidiao instantly freezes in place. Zhang Deshuai remarks that he must be wondering how the deception was uncovered. The reason is simple. Zhang Henchang has always been ashamed of admitting the foolish things he has done and constantly looks around whenever those incidents are mentioned. The final question exposes him as well. Zhang Henchang has always admired his late father, so refusing to reveal that humiliating nickname is exactly what he would have done. After dealing with the impostor, Zhang Deshuai apologizes to Chen Pingan. Chen Pingan can only marvel at how he manages to win again without doing anything. Zhang Deshuai explains that if he had not returned in time, the treasure would have been stolen by the thug. He then urges him to take it immediately. Chen Pingan confirms that a senior had indeed informed him about the matter before he returned, then accepts the box. However, Hao Shidiao suddenly swoops in and snatches it away. Zhang Deshuai wonders whether he is working for the leader. Hao Shidiao dismisses the discovery as meaningless because the treasure is already in his hands. He warns the old man to prepare himself, declaring that once he succeeds, rivers of blood will flow through the Zhang family. Zhang Deshuai recognizes that this is the treasure he has been coveting all along. Chen Pingan can only wonder how something so simple keeps producing one twist after another. Zhang Deshuai wonders what he should do if the Zhang family truly has to face such a catastrophe. Meanwhile, Chen Pingan assumes the object is merely a broken stone, yet the old man is frightened by it. To calm him down, he explains that the senior had already warned him that the item was nothing more than a broken stone meant to ward off disasters. Zhang Deshuai questions whether that is really true. He concludes that everything must be part of his plan. It is no wonder he cannot detect anything extraordinary about the stone, since he has never managed to keep up with that person's thinking from beginning to end. Looking back, he assumes that the absurd farce from that day must also be part of the plan. However, Chen Pingan rejects that possibility and admits he does not believe so. Zhang Deshuai presses him on whether the senior revealed anything else and how he came into contact with him, demanding the full details. Chen Pingan grows perturbed. He apologizes and explains that he cannot remember because he was injured inside the secret realm and lost some of his memories. Zhang Deshuai questions whether he truly lost his memory. He then wonders what they should do, whether this is also part of that person's plan, and what he really wants. Chen Pingan advises against speculating too deeply about that person's plans. They should simply follow the instructions they receive. Zhang Deshuai agrees, since they cannot figure out his intentions anyway. At the same time, Hao Shidiao's disguise technique proves truly exquisite. He approaches the puppet and finds nothing wrong with it. However, the moment he touches it, he clearly senses the spiritual power contained inside. He then questions whether Chen Pingan still remembers what the senior looks like. Chen Pingan describes him as a handsome young man who even claims to be invincible. Zhang Deshuai concludes that it does not sound like a lie because the information matches. Meanwhile, Chen Pingan wonders why his eyes are so sharp and whether he discovered something. Zhang Deshuai explains that since he lost his memory, suddenly having him call him grandpa may feel uncomfortable. Instead, he should follow everyone else and call him family head. Chen Pingan thanks him for being considerate. Zhang Deshuai directs him to go outside first because he needs some time alone, and he agrees. Chen Pingan finds this convenient, since there is no need to inexplicably call him grandson. Meanwhile, Zhang Deshuai concludes that this is it, and that the Supreme truly meant that kind of fate. After Chen Pingan comes out, he questions whether Zhang Deshuai discovered something. It is truly helpless in matters like this, but the system remains silent. He decides that he should consider taking on Zhang Henchang's identity. He will definitely help him seek revenge. Meanwhile, Hao Shadao is by the river, examining the object. He wonders whether this could be the treasure that significantly increases the Zhang family's chances of achieving a breakthrough. He questions why it only looks like a piece of stone. Since the Zhang family should not possess the ability to foresee the future, there should be no room for error. With that assumption, he bites into the stone. Hao Shidiao notices that the treasure is finally revealing itself as his body suddenly lights up. Startled, he touches the glow in his chest and believes the treasure can replenish his depleted blood qi, allowing him to break through immediately. However, a bolt of lightning suddenly crashes down from the sky and strikes him. Blood bursts from his mouth as he collapses against the ground, unable to understand why the treasure is not working. He curses the Zhang family for deceiving him and regrets losing control during his breakthrough and swallowing the stone. His body begins trembling, and he desperately refuses to die. At that moment, Zhu Shangqi arrives and offers to save him in exchange for his loyalty, demanding an immediate answer. Hao Shidiao repeatedly agrees and begs him to save his life. Zhu Shangqi, the city lord governing the city where the Zhang family is located, declares that he has made the right choice. The spiritual energy he provides will not only save him, but also allow him to complete his breakthrough safely. However, anything he gives can be taken back at any time, so Hao Shidao must conduct himself carefully. Hao Shidao pledges to sacrifice his life to repay this debt without harboring any hidden intentions. He then grins and declares that the members of the Zhang family have reached the end of their lives. Meanwhile, the Zhang family remains peaceful within the chaotic realm. Inside his room, Zhang Deshuai learns that the old beast Hao Shidiao has actually broken through to the second level of semi-saint. He complains that heaven truly has no eyes, but the timing is still convenient. With the Chong still staying at the Zhang family, he can use the upcoming banquet as an opportunity to carry out his plan. A short while later, they arrive at the Sand Gang's base. Chen Pingan remarks that the gathering resembles a Hongmen banquet and wonders whether they should make some preparations. Zhang Deshuai assures him that, with the senior's protection, there is no reason to fear Hao Shadiao. However, Chen Pingan explains that although the senior taught him several techniques, his cultivation is still low. He worries that Zhang Deshuai may be relying on him for protection. Zhang Deshuai dismisses his concern and assures him that everything will be fine. Chen Pingan figures that Zhang Deshuai must still have another trick up his sleeve. Hao Shadiao suddenly accuses Zhang Deshuai of arriving late after making them wait so long and looking down on him. Hao Shadiao. Zhang Deshuai mocks the old fellow for surprisingly having some self-awareness, while Chen Pingan wonders what exactly he is relying on to act so arrogantly and whether he is not afraid of being beaten. Hao Shadiao concludes that he wants to settle things with him. The guests immediately question what is happening. Even after breaking through, Zhang Deshuai is only a semi-saint, yet he still dares to provoke Hao Shadiao. Another guest wonders whether the Zhang family is about to hold a feast of mourning. Zhang Deshuai challenges Hao Shadiao to fight him. Although he does want to take him down, his opponent is not him. He orders Zhang Henchang to step forward and show him a little of their true strength. Chen Pingan confirms whether he wants him to go up. Zhang Deshuai grabs him by the shoulder. He urges him to trust the senior's foresight, since he could not have overlooked the current situation, and instructs him to use every technique he taught him. Chen Pingan is stunned to realize that the backing is actually him. Pretending to be too powerful clearly comes with risks. Even so, he walks forward. With no other option, he decides to begin with a full power move. Hao Shidiao declares that it makes no difference, because all of them will meet their end there that day. He lunges at Chen Pingan and orders him to die. Chen Pingan prepares to make a strategic retreat if the attack fails. Their fists collide, unleashing a huge explosion. Zhang Deshuai remains confident, while Hao Shidiao is left astonished. Chen Pingan's attack overwhelms his technique and breaks straight through it. He is blasted into the wall and loses consciousness moments later. The force of the attack leaves a massive dent behind him. One guest questions whether Chen Pingan truly defeats Hao Shidiao with a single move and wonders who that kid is. Another questions Zhang Deshuai's actual strength, refusing to believe that the guy is only a semi-saint. Hao Shidiao cries out in denial, calls for his master, and pleads for him to save him. However, Zhu Shangqi dismisses him as useless and refuses to help. Cracks spread across the crystal before it shatters in Hao Shidiao's hand, leaving him horrified. Zhang Deshuai celebrates the fact that the old beast is still alive. However, he warns that he will soon make him wish he were dead. Hao Shidiao begs him to wait and offers to exchange information. He is about to reveal something concerning Zhang Henchang, but Zhang Deshuai cuts him off for talking too much. The guests watch in discomfort as Hao Shidiao's face is slammed against the floor. Zhang Deshuai lets out a sigh of relief. Since he has personal grievances with Hao Shidiao, he feels unworthy of joining everyone for dinner. He then grabs him by the collar and wishes everyone a joyful feast at Hao Shidiao's morning banquet. After returning to the Zhang family residence, Zhang Deshuai announces that he will enter a brief seclusion. If Chen Pingan has anything to handle, he can proceed freely, and the Zhang family will fully support him. Chen Pingan agrees and thanks him before Zhang Deshuai enters his room. He finds Zhang Henchang's grandfather rather intimidating when angry. However, a presence suddenly appears behind him, making him wonder why he feels like someone is observing him. Deciding to use a little deception, he condemns such sneaky behavior as shameful and challenges the hidden observer to step forward and confront him directly. A portal immediately appears. Zhu Shangqi admits that he never expected him to be so perceptive. Based on his observations, he cannot be a member of the Zhang family. He demands an explanation for what he is doing in such a remote city, but Chen Pingan claims that he is Zhang Henchang. Zhu Shangqi assumes that he refuses to reveal the truth and warns that he will have to consider him a spy from the Chanyuan sect. Chen Pingan denies it and insists that he has misunderstood because he truly is Zhang Henchang. Zhu Shangqi calls him stubborn, but he is no fool. Since he refuses to cooperate, he decides to kill him right there. A massive orb of aura forms in his hand before he hurls it at Chen Pingan, engulfing the area in fierce flames. Chen Pingan raises his arms to protect himself. Zhu Shangqi declares that this is only the beginning. Eventually, he intends to make everyone in the Qianyuan sect pay. Chen Pingan coughs through the flames and complains that the attack is rather annoying. Zhu Shangqi rejects the possibility in disbelief. Even the founder of the Qianyuan sect could not easily withstand his full-powered blow. Meanwhile, Chen Pingan admits that he nearly failed this time. He never expected the robe awarded by the system to be so powerful, and when he expresses his gratitude, the robe scoffs that the attack feels no different from scratching an itch. He then brings up the founder of the Qianyuan sect while considering his situation. Although the robe allows him to deceive Zhu Shangqi for now, showing even the slightest weakness will expose him. If Zhu Shangqi is after the treasure, then everything is over. Maintaining his composure, he warns Zhu Shangqi that he should understand the consequences of provoking a powerful opponent. At the same time, he reminds himself to uphold this stance, or the mission may be compromised.